It would have been probably not the taser gun. It would have been a gun if I would have freaking got physical. I know they would have shot me. I just know it.
Tonight, 2 First Nations men have filed a lawsuit against the Ontario government and provincial police.
If you want to stop insiders from getting ahead while you are falling back, you should be voting Conservative.
The new leader of the Conservative Party of Canada has been crowned.
That's why I really enjoy this sport. You know, it gives them something positive to do. Right?
There they go! Couple holders on the ground and we look to the front.
And the excitement of relay racing comes to a Cree Nation in Alberta. Good evening. Welcome to APTN National News. I'm Melissa Ridgen. It came down to a third ballot, and the result wasn't known until early this morning. But Erin O'Toole is the new leader of the Conservative Party of Canada. Todd Lamourant has more on the Indigenous policy of the man who wants to be Prime Minister.
Good morning. I'm Erin O'Toole.
Erin O'Toole's acceptance was also a campaign speech. He wants a stronger, more united, and prosperous Canada, and so appealed to voters of other parties.
If you want to stop insiders from getting ahead while you are falling back, you should be voting Conservative. If you are proud of what we produce in this country, whether it's the resources in the ground or the ideas in our heads, you should be voting Conservative.
For O'Toole, resource extraction is key to prosperity. It's a part of his Igniting the Indigenous Economy platform, and he went into detail on APTN National Chief Perry Bellegarde's podcast just last week.
Resource development is done responsibly. You mitigate the impacts on the environment, but also maximize the benefit for Indigenous communities and the direct stakeholders in a project. So this is where I think the relaunch of the economy is key, and where I think igniting the Indigenous economy and leadership is central.
O'Toole, however, considers blockades like this one at Tyendinaga last February to be illegal and not a valid protest. He says an O'Toole government would pass a Freedom of Movement Act and make it a criminal offense to block a railway, airport, or major road. O'Toole also does not support legislation that brings Canada's laws in line with the principles of UNDRIP.
I'm not a fan of UNDRIP, and here's the reason. Our Supreme Court of Canada developed the duty to consult and Indigenous engagement far before the UN did any work on this topic.
To his credit, O'Toole is familiar with several studies, everything from the Hawthorne Report to the White Paper to RCAP to the TRC and MMIWG calls to action, and promises to do something with their recommendations. Again, from the podcast.
I want more action, and I'm willing to partner with you and with leadership across the country to make sure that some of the stuff that has now been touched upon in several commissions or studies is acted upon. I want action, less talk.
O'Toole could get his chance to be Prime Minister this fall. If the Liberal minority government can't get the support of other parties for his throne speech on September 23rd, an election could soon follow. Todd Lamourant, APTN National News, Ottawa.
Meg Martin, who was missing for more than a week, and the man she was believed to be traveling with were found by police late Friday evening. The RCMP have charged the 47-year-old man with a single count of abduction of a person under the age of 16. He was found with the 14-year-old girl in a wooded area of Cape Breton, Nova Scotia. Police say the man is in custody and is scheduled to have a bail hearing on Wednesday morning. Community members are criticizing the RCMP for not issuing an Amber Alert to find the youth sooner. With Manitoba COVID-19 cases on the rise, First Nations are calling for travel restrictions to the north to be implemented once again. There are 395 active cases in Manitoba, up from 232 a week ago. Many of the cases are linked to small clusters in southern Manitoba, but over the weekend there was one new case in northern Manitoba. It's not on a First Nation, but MKO Grand Chief Garrison Settee would like the government to reintroduce a travel ban to the north out of caution. In a statement, Settee said, quote, "The call to reinstate the northern travel is a proactive measure by First Nations leadership to reduce and minimize the risk and spread of COVID-19, as access to primary health care is not comparable to our neighbors in the south. The Northern Health Region in Manitoba has only seen 4 cases since the beginning of the pandemic, none on First Nations. 2 First Nations men have filed a lawsuit against the Ontario government and Ontario Provincial Police. The brothers are from Orillia, Ontario, and are seeking $400,000 in damages after they say they were unlawfully arrested and mistreated. Michelle Carlsnegg has this story.
On September 15, 2018, Randall May, a member of Nipissing First Nation, arrived at his home in Orillia, Ontario, when OPP officer Mark Connor came onto his property, arrested him, and tasered him multiple times. Shortly after, May's brother Aaron Keeshig arrived. He was thrown to the ground and arrested by Officer Andrew Markle. The arrest was caught on camera by a family friend. May says he doesn't know why police were there or why he was arrested.
Somehow, the individual who approached me seemed to believe that he had right to accuse me of something, but he never really said what it was. He just tried to prevent me from walking freely in my own home and told me that I was resisting arrest.
Keeshig says he felt helpless while watching his brother's arrest.
Me, I love my brother, man. To me, it's like I don't want my brother to die, and in my mind that's what it felt like. In order for me not to get too out of hand and trying to watch it, I know if I would have did something, it would have been probably not the taser gun, it would have been a gun if I would have freaking got physical. I know they would have shot me, I just know it.
The brothers were taken to jail, released, and sought legal counsel. Promise Holmes Skinner, an Anishinaabe Ojibwe woman from Toronto, is one of 2 lawyers leading the lawsuit. According to the suit, the officers breached charters of human rights abuses and racial profiling, unlawful detention and false imprisonment, assault and battery, negligence, misfeasance, and conversion. She says it's the first time in her career she's seen a case like this.
Fortunately, I haven't come across this issue before. Not that I haven't come across the issue of my clients being assaulted by police, but I haven't come across the issue of there being a blatant, brazen assault caught on video in broad daylight committed by the OPP.
After being detained, May and Keeshig say their treatment only worsened. The statement of claim filed on July 22nd says, as a result of the multiple electric shocks, Mr. May had lost control of his bowels, and officers forced him to spend the night in custody in a shirt and soiled underwear, as he was forced to clean his clothes using water from the toilet bowl. Keeshig says he and his brother's time in Orillia jail was humiliating.
He was the guy that pretty much gave us our sandwiches and blankets after me demanding it after 5, 6, 7 hours. I have no idea. It seemed like forever.
Right.
And when I was in there, I did ask them if I could call a lawyer. They said the lawyer was in the basement busy. And it's like, what, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning? Still didn't let me have my call. And I had to demand my food and I had to demand my blankets while I stood around in my underwear. Mm-hmm. They humiliated us in there.
May and Keeshig were released the following day and charged with offenses including resisting arrest, assaulting a police officer, intoxication in public, and open liquor. Weeks later, they filed a complaint. According to the claim, the brothers were troubled by the police conduct and filed a complaint to the Office of the Independent Police Review Director, and that instead of conducting a good faith investigation, the complaint was turned over back to whom it was targeted against. The OPP officers assigned to investigate began harassing Mr. May and pressuring him to drop the complaint. It states one OPP officer even went so far as to offer to withdraw Mr. May's criminal charges if he in turn would withdraw the OIRPD complaint. Skinner refers to the intimidation allegations as a larger issue within the legal system.
You know, folks are really shocked to hear that part of the story. And it seems folks are shocked by that piece of information. That goes to show how much trust the public has in the OPP and in the systems that we have set up to oversee the OPP.
All of May and Kishig's charges have now been dropped. They state their intentions are not only for justice, but for awareness and for future generations.
So it's only now that it's start to materialize the significance of this behavior, and if there's something that can be brought to the attention of the lawmakers, that maybe there will be some changes in the future so that our children, our grandchildren wouldn't have to experience the same behavior from the policing body.
The OPP media rep told APTN they could not comment on the lawsuit due to litigation. For now, Skinner, May and Kishig wait patiently to hear back from the Ontario government courts for a response to the lawsuit. Michelle Karlenzig, APTN National News, Winnipeg.
We're going to hear what you think about that arrest and the lawsuit against the Ontario government and police. Share your thoughts with us. You can send your emails to news@aptn.ca. You can find us online at aptnnews.ca and on youtube.com/aptn news. You can also follow APTN News on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for more Indigenous news. Road blockades are down in Caledonia, Ontario, but the Haudenosaunee land reclamation at the Mackenzie Meadows construction site is now into its second month. This amid a buildup of Ontario provincial police in the small town that sits just outside of Six Nations. APTN's Elena McDougall has an update.
After cars and tires were removed in good faith from one Caledonia road Friday, community members said Ontario Provincial Police issued an ultimatum to remove what remained. Roadblocks were put up by Six Nations community members in response to armed enforcement of an injunction against land offenders on August 7th. Now that the blockades are down, land offenders want police to respect the internal decision-making process of Haudenosaunee. On Friday, that went on well into the evening. Gahatio, a Mohawk elder from the Turtle Clan, attended the talks.
And I've always been reminded by the elders that the foundation of Haudenosaunee is peace, you know, and so, you know, I'm happy this is happening tonight. Now we can proceed with the land claims. You know, we can proceed. We've been told. I have a letter. Confederacy has a letter. The Band Council has a letter saying they're ready. They're ready to start proceedings on our land claims. But we can't do it, and we can't move ahead if we don't do this.
By morning, some cement blocks remained. The OPP did not confirm an ultimatum was given, but said plainclothes liaison officers have been talking to community members. Not everyone was convinced that police could be trusted.
Give an inch. You guys want to take a mile?
Well, the focus is to open up the roads and the rail, and then we can then switch the folks to Mackenzie so the negotiations can start.
By afternoon, the blockades were cleared and traffic has opened up. For some, this makes those who've reclaimed the Mackenzie Meadows construction site vulnerable to police. According to William Lisk, counsel for the Foxgate developments, the injunctions will be in front of the court in Brantford tomorrow, and many in Six Nations will no doubt be watching. A community meeting is scheduled to take place tonight. Elena McDougall, APTN National News, Caledonia.
Thanks, Elena. The First Nations community now owns the largest solar farm in Manitoba, and it's already cut energy bills in half. We'll tell you about that after the break. Here's a look at tomorrow's weather forecast first. To the east coast, we've got 23 and sunny skies for Charlottetown, 24 and rain for Fredericton. Kuujjuaq, 15 and some showers. Le Grand River, 19, mostly sunny. Saguenay, 22 and sunshine. Montreal, sunny and 25. Peterborough, 28 with some showers. 24 and showers in Sault Ste. Marie. Kapuskasing, also 24 and showers. 16 rain for Timmins. Wawa's, 21 and showers. The Paw, 22 and sunny skies. God's Lake and Norway House, sunshine and 20 degrees. Barons River and Princess Harbour, 25 and sunny skies. 26 in Dauphin. 30s for Regina and Swift Current, lots of sun there. 27 with some showers in Saskatoon. Uranium City, 14 and rain. 17 and some showers for Buffalo Narrows and La Ronge. Welcome back. Members of the Regina arts community held a forum recently about what to do with a John A. MacDonald statue in Victoria Park. CTV's Callie Stefano tells us more.
Carrie Bellegarde of Punachau looks at the John A. MacDonald statue in Victoria Park with disdain. She thinks there are better ways the space could be used instead of home to a statue of a Canadian figure that she calls a racist.
The flora of Saskatchewan, and it seems to be more healing. And also, you know, that it's very nice as they have it here with the pretty flowers and everything. The only thing that's marring it is John A. himself.
On Thursday, Bellegarde of Punachau joined other members of Regina's arts community to share personal experiences related to the legacy of John A. MacDonald and colonialism in Canada.
I'd like to call out again to the museums in Canada for the return of our ceremonial pieces, tribal artifacts, regalia, and artwork. This in itself was an act of cultural genocide under the government of MacDonald.
These calls are being echoed by many others in the community who have been calling for the statue to be removed because of MacDonald's oppression of Canada's Indigenous peoples.
This is a great opportunity to say, we value coexistence, we value respect, we want to take part in reconciliation, so let's do something. We are hearing these calls, so let's do something about it.
The group of artists say the statue should be moved to a more relevant place like the RCMP Heritage Centre or grounds with a political focus. But Bellegarde of Punachau says members on the panel agree the statue should not be destroyed.
If someone wanted it down, it would be down. But the thing is, I think that would kind of damage the work that we have been doing in the fight that we have been standing out here for weeks and promoting this and saying this is why he has to go down. This is the age of reconciliation.
But as for the future of the John A. MacDonald statue, the City of Regina says it is seeking input from Indigenous elders, community members, artists, and cultural groups about what would be the most appropriate action to take with this controversial figure. Callie Stefano, CTV News, Regina.
A monumental moment for the Fisher River Cree Nation. The community in Manitoba's central region celebrated the launch of the province's biggest solar farm. The community, 200 kilometers north of Winnipeg, cut the ribbon to a project launched over 3 years ago in partnership with Manitoba Hydro. A team of entirely Indigenous employees built and opened the 3,000-plus solar panel facility. Chief David Crate said in a press release that the project allows the community to set an example for using renewable energy among First Nations. Fisher River reported that the farm has already cut electricity bills in half for roughly 300 homes. To give a boost to the tourism industry, which has been hit hard by COVID restrictions, Indigenous Tourism BC has launched a new trip planner app. The app aims to connect users to authentic Indigenous experiences across BC, from wildlife viewings, wineries, and restaurants to accommodations. Users can also learn words and phrases. They can listen to songs and stories of the different nations in the province. The app also provides a list of the communities that are closed to visitors because of COVID-19 and gives tips on how to travel responsibly.
Tourism has been growing so rapidly over the past couple of years, and I know a lot of the businesses were expecting a banner year this year. Unfortunately, it has hit quite hard. I think traveling responsibly is just so key this year because just COVID has been impacting so many different communities across the province, and if a lot of the elders in the community are knowledge keepers of songs, of stories, of language, and even to lose one is so can hurt the community so much that it's important that we keep COVID out of the communities.
It's time for another break, but still ahead, relay racing at a Cree Nation in Alberta. Lots of action you'll want to see. First, here is the rest of tomorrow's weather for the west and the north. To northern Alberta, we got 20s for Peace River and Grand Prairie. Sunny skies there. 22 in sunshine for Edmonton, 27 for Medicine Hat and Lethbridge. 28 and sunny in Kamloops, 21 in sunshine for Quesnel. Port Nelson, 16 and showers, 16 and showers too for Smithers. Beaver Creek, 15 and rain, 18 and rain for Dawson City. 20 in sunshine for Norman Wells, 16 for Wati and Yellowknife. Colville Lake, 18, mostly sunny. Fort McPherson, some showers, 16 degrees. Baker Lake, sunny and 20, 14 in sunshine for Chesterfield. Igloolik, 12 in showers. Calliope, 13, mostly sunny skies. Welcome back. It was a first for the Papachase First Nation this past weekend as the community hosted its first Indian relay races. 18 teams from Alberta and Saskatchewan took part in the event, which Papachase held at the Enoch Cree Nation near Edmonton. APTN's Chris Stewart has more from Enoch Cree Nation.
Here they go! A couple holders on the ground and we look to the front.
A big crowd was on hand Sunday to see the last day of the Papachase Indian Relay. Papachase Chief Calvin Bruna was hoping to continue their winning ways from other events in the summer.
In Poundmaker, we took first in the relay in the Chiefs race, so we're doing pretty good.
The crowd saw the women's, youth, warrior, chief, and relay bareback races.
Oh, what a switch!
The best part is like when they come around and they're just like going really fast.
I think the women racing, that was so cool.
I followed them to Saskatchewan, Dunyan Lake, yeah, and I've been all over with the Saddle Lake, Enoch, Obima.
Alea Portra won the women's event. Cody Jackson won the Chiefs race. Stephen Wolftail took the victory in the Warrior race. And a close finish, Tyrone Jackson and his team won the 3-lap relay.
His heart, can he catch Ryan Lightning? Dumbo J is moving. Dumbo J is moving on.
It was perfect. It was really good, honestly. I didn't really think it was going to come that fast, but I was proud of my team and myself. Like, I really committed to my exchanges, and my horses ran really fast today.
Chief Bruno says the event will be back.
And I'm already thinking of next year, right? And this is exciting, it's fun. You know, and not only that too, it's also good for the youth. That's why I really enjoy this sport. You know, it gives them something positive to do, right?
Saskatchewan's Onion Lake Cree Nation hosts the next rally this upcoming weekend. Chris Stewart, APTN National News, Enoch Cree Nation.
Well, it's the end of an era. Fast food giant Kentucky Fried Chicken is putting its famous slogan on ice, and the COVID-19 pandemic is getting the blame. The company says the 6-decade-old tagline, "It's finger-licking good," just doesn't feel right given the current environment. It's now urging customers to wash fingers thoroughly before licking. That's your APTN National News to kick off the week. Before we go, I want to leave you with a video. Pura Fay is a Tuscarora from North Carolina. She's now living in beautiful Beauval, Saskatchewan with her husband. They haul their water from Lac La Plonge every week with their grandkids, and she says last week the lake called her in to sing, so she grabbed her drum and in she went. We want to share that with you to wrap up the show. I'm Melissa Ridgen. Have a great night.